documentation.
Area 51. Like, I feel like that's where we put everything. I'm saying Area 51 is where we crashed our ships to destroy this planet.
So at the end of the day, when the raid happens, whether they're real or not, there need to be documents hitting every single note that we just talked about to make people question even more, like they're actual government documents.
Yeah.
But have them dated from different decades that different presidents signed off on.
What you guys are saying is that the cavemen made rocket ships and then came here.
No, I said they piggybacked
no,
on
I'm
an
saying
asteroid.
they became cavemen because they didn't have the technology they had on their planet.
Post-concussion, they didn't
they
have
had to
concussion
restart.
protocol.
Start over.
They had to start all over.
There was a reset button.
Yeah.
So they built spaceships on another world.
Yeah.
Right, but they didn't have the same kind of materials
Technology
here.
and
Technology
materials,
here.
right.
And they came over here.
Yeah.
They crashed their ships.
Yes.
Yes.
They realized they can't get back because their ships crashed.
Right.
Yeah.
And they have no way to repair it. They can't repair it.
Okay, so they took off all their fancy space alien clothes and
No,
put
maybe
on
that's what they
loincloths.
wore.
They realized it was
You're
much
saying-
hotter in
Yeah.
Nevada
You're
at
saying-
Area 51.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they travel in a loincloth or whatever?
Like, maybe that's what they
Maybe
wore in their
they're-
planet.
Do you travel in the most constricting clothing possible?
No, you travel comfortably.
You travel comfortably. Loincloth. Next time I go on a trip, loincloth.
Okay, I dare you to try to board the plane in a loincloth.
No,
I
did
never
you hear
said I
about
was
the
going on a
lady who got
plane.
kicked off the plane because she was wearing a tube top?
It wasn't even a tube top. It covered everything.
She was completely, like, covered, but her shoulders were bare, and the flight attendant said, you can't board this plane. It was Delta, right?
I don't know who it was.
I think it was Delta.
Wow.
They were boarding. She came back from Jamaica, and she was boarding from her layover. So she was on a Caribbean vacation, dressed in like a romper that was sleeveless, and the flight attendant said she can't board unless she covers up.
So she was wearing a romper like what you typically wear while we record?
Yes.
By the
Laura
way, you
always
can't-
records in a romper.
You can't record
And a loincloth.
sleeveless anymore.
Well, I mean, if you don't want me to do the show, I don't have to. Just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I can, but I don't. I don't have to. It's okay.
It's a little too real for her. Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know. I think overall, who's to say what's... But here's the big thing, is when you've got supposedly over 1 million people that are going to raid an area... Like, do you think they're going to stop once they get in there and be like, hang on, guys, hang on. Let's
take the selfie.
Let's
Oh, they all
let's take a selfie, but let's
take a-
slowly go through all of this material in these drawers.
No.
They're gonna
look for the tubes of aliens that are sitting on the side and
Right.
the spaceships. They're not going to
And
look
when
for
they're
it.
not there, that's when the riot happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Then they start flipping desks and burning things.
You know what's going to happen? What happens all the time? Because this is just human nature.
Absolutely nothing.
Everybody's
Yes.
going, I'm going to go to the party. I'm going to go to the raid. And then the day of the raid comes and they're like, do you really want to go to this?
I'll get you next week.
I just want to watch.
Okay,
I just want to watch Netflix. That's all. I just want to sit in the house. I don't want to
Netflix
go.
and chill. I'm
So
sure somebody else will find out for me.
10 people are going to show up in their rompers,
Don't you dare, JL. Don't you dare.
and it's going to be nothing.
I don't know. I mean, I think like 2 people will show up and you're like, damn it.
They can stop
They
all of
can't
us.
Stop. Yeah, they
They
Did
can.
somebody cancel the group invite?
Somebody's
Either
going to try to
that-
organize a potluck brunch, and then only the 10 people are going to show up. They're all going to be holding 10 bags of Lay's potato chips. Be like, where's the guy who's going to bring the cupcakes?
And a Capri Sun.
Where's the guy that's going to bring the potato salad?
Or it could turn into a giant festival like Woodstock. Woodstock, they expected nobody, and everybody showed up.
Yeah. They eventually had
Bless you.
to
Thank you.
make it a free concert
Bless you.
because they
Thank you.
rated that.
I heard
Yeah.
the only alien there is going to be Lil Wayne.
Oh.
That's why he's dropping out of the Blink-182 concert right now, so he can headline the Area 51 show.
Yeah! That's my Lil Wayne impersonation. That's all.
That was... No.
No.
That was Little John.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Isn't that the same guy?
No. No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
I
what
love
was
your
that?
Jaws 3 Funko you have here. It's like it's in 3D.
Jaws 3D.
What was that? Was it? What was the grouping, the party, the thing that was supposed to happen in like the Bahamas or Jamaica or that
Firefest.
Firefest.
Yeah.
Maybe this is going to turn into just like a giant Firefest.
Did you watch the documentaries?
No.
The documentaries are fascinating.
That's what I've heard. I have not watched them yet because I have 2 small children that don't let me watch things.
And I can't remember. There's two
it's
of
like
them.
trying to finish Stranger Things.
Oh, can you hurry
Or
up?
start them.
There's 2
I
documentaries.
gotta
I think
fix
one's
something.
on Hulu and one's on Netflix.
I think it's Amazon, maybe. I've
Maybe
heard
Amazon.
the one on Hulu is the better one.
But one of them has where one of the show's promoters is gay, and they are running out of water and like workers, and they send him to like the whatever agency will provide them water and wood, and they tell him that he go over there and offer to suck his dick, and they'll give you water and wood.
Oh my God.
And he's like,
Oh, God, I was wondering where him being gay was going.
yeah, he was like, I was going to do it. I would have done it.
Team player right
Yeah,
there.
that's what he said. I'm a team player. And that's the best part of the documentary. He just pauses. He's like, I would have done it. He didn't have to, but he's like,
yeah.
I would have done it. But that was a cluster, a huge cluster.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they had even acts lined up. But they sold all these tickets, booked out this island that couldn't hold all these people. And like the day that it was supposed to happen, they're setting up like lawn chairs and pup tents they got from Walmart. And all these people show up and they're like, oh my God, this is horrible.
Well,
like
they didn't
the
know.
Woodstock that was going to happen.
Woodstock,
Except
they
Woodstock
actually had.
had acts.
No, I
for
mean
it.
like
and
the whole like
stage
they
and
had
all
a
that.
whole thing set up for like the anniversary of Woodstock.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then they realized they didn't have the fundage for it. So they were like, oh, hey, we got all these acts that are going to do it, but we can't
We
afford
can't
to
pay
do
them.
everything. We can't pay them. We can't
Yeah.
afford the amenities, anything. Like, they couldn't do anything. Like, they were like, we're not going to have water. We're not going to have any, like, there's no bathrooms, no food, anything. And it was just like, we got to cancel. Sorry if you tried buying a ticket.
I can't even imagine trying to put on something like that. That would be impossible. Like, how do you even plan or put that together? I mean, that's just amazing.
I think part of the issue is that like say back when Woodstock originally happened, like people were just bringing their own shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
And nowadays people are like, wait a minute. I'm spending $50 and you still want me to bring all of my own shit.
Yeah.
I'd rather bring my own shit.
Yeah.
At least then I know how much it costs, and I'm not spending
Right.
$7 on a bottle of water,
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think
14
part
on
of it-
a can of beer.
And I think part of it is the fact that we've become so reliant on everything being included in the price that we pay for something.
That might have been Lollapalooza's fault. Because I
Probably.
think that
'Cause
might
you
have
can't
been the
bring
first
anything
one
into
that.
Lollapalooza.
Well, I think that's also the first one that wasn't just a concert, but
Yeah.
there's other things going on. It was like a true festival. You could get tattoos done, and there was side stages where they
Yeah.
had other acts that weren't musical, and they had food trucks and all sorts of stuff.
Warped
there.
Tour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Warped Tour came after though, didn't it?
Yeah. But like Lollapalooza,
Yeah.
Warped Tour, all those.
Yeah, it's
There
like,
were other things.
Once-
It wasn't just like, here, you got to watch this one main stage and see who's on there. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
we're going to show you some up-and-coming acts that could be on the main stage in a few years.
Once upon a time when I lived in Chicago, my friend and I, Jessica, had decided to...
Who?
Jessica. Jessica.
Jessica.
Was her sister Noaka? I would only want to date Jessica. I would not want to date Noaka.
No. Her brother's name is Noel. Just kidding.
There was always a pause, like before he said, he's like, no,
But we actually we got out of work because we told our manager, we're like, listen, we need to go to Lollapalooza. This was back when Kanye West was still starting out, like with Gold Digger and stuff like that. And we were like, we're planning on going there, but you guys scheduled us. Can you please just somehow arrange it so we get the day off? And she was like, okay, I figured this out for you guys. So day shows up and her and I look at each other and we're like, do you really want to go to this thing? No, I just wanted a day off. And instead, we went and watched movies.
Nice.
And then we were like, well, Christy's going to ask about this. So we came up with quite a few good stories about how we went and didn't get to see some things because some big dude was standing in front of us and stepped on feet and chairs out. And we were like, yeah, then we had to leave because... we got injured.
I don't know if I'd want to sit through 12 or 14 acts.
No, because it was nuts.
Too much.
And at the time, like, we didn't... Part of the problem was that we didn't realize that we were going to need to book tickets so far in advance. Because this was early on.
2003?
Close. 2000, maybe 5. 2006. So still early on in Lollapalooza years. Early on, yeah. I mean, dude, that was like, what, 13 years ago?
Yeah, that's not early in Lollapalooza life.
Yes, it is.
Why is it that the 2000s, the math doesn't add up in 2000s?
I know.
Like
but
2003
Lollapalooza
doesn't
started
seem like
off
it's
in the
that long
early
ago.
90s.
I know, but so it only been around for like 10
Yeah,
years.
but it's ended. And now they only do like one date in Chicago. And that's it.
Yeah, well, this was back when it was like a
Lollapalooza's
3-year...
first event date was in Chicago in 1991.
Right.
Wow.
So about 10, 12
Formed by
years in.
Perry Farrell of Porno for Pyros and Jane's Addiction.
It ran annually until 1997 and was revived in 2003.
See, so I wasn't wrong. It's still early on.
Haven't you been to Ozzy Fest, Joe?
Yes.
How many bands are in that?
Well, let's see. The main stage when I went had 7 or 8 acts. And then there were 2 side stages that had like 7 or 8 acts. And there were probably about close to 25, 30 bands over the course of the day.
And how long were you there?
The whole day. Like,
When did it start?
like 10 a.m. till like midnight. And each band, like, you know, like you would watch. The year I went was 2001, and I like to call it the Power Hour and a Half because they had a revolving drum set, so the next band could just start right up on the main stage.
And
That was
So-
my next question, because I've gone to see 2 acts. The first act plays, and it takes forever for them to flip the stage over.
And
for
I
the second
blame
act.
Ozfest for my lack of patience in between acts because they had it nailed down. Like, they knew what they were doing. And I'll never forget it because it started off, you went Disturbed, Linkin Park, and Papa Roach, all in an hour and a half that they played. They all
Isn't that the same band?
No.
No.
So 90 minutes of just straight music where it was just like the one band left, they left the stage, they revolved the drum set, they came out, they put the one like little thing in front of the speaker so you saw who the new act was, and they played for a half hour and they got 7-8 songs in.
Yeah.
All of them were in their first albums and it was great. Mudvayne headlined the second stage with Drowning Pool and Union Underground being the other 2 acts. The main acts for that Ozfest were original Black Sabbath headlining, Marilyn Manson, Slipknot. Yeah. Those were the big 3.
I thought, what's his face was dead, the guitar player. No?
No.
For Black Sabbath?
No.
Rhodes?
He was Ozzy's original solo guitar player.
Oh, okay.
But Tony Iommi's the guitar player for Black Sabbath.
Oh, okay. And the side stages played while the main stage played as well?
No, like the side stage played, and you could go over to the main stage because they had some lesser, like they would put on some lesser acts that were just coming up but were worthy of being on the main stage. So they had like Crazy Town, Zakk Wylde's band was there, and all that. They had different acts there, but it was great because
So
as the
2
day
bands
went on,
played
the
at the
long
same time, though.
sometimes, but they were on different ends of the pavilion that you were at.
You know, if you're in front of one set of speakers, you are not going to hear anything else around you.
I don't know. It seems like you could.
No.
But the later the show went, like the big headliners, like Marilyn Manson and Slipknot, each got an hour. When Ozzy came out with Black Sabbath, they played for 2.5 hours.
Wow.
That's a long time to be outside.
Especially
It was.
for
It was
Ozzy.
90 degrees in Toronto on blacktop.
Yeah.
Oh.
I will
Yeah.
never forget it.
Was
But
there
it was
places
great.
to sit down?
No, not really.
You had to stand for that entire time.
Yeah, you could go sit on the ground somewhere.
But you probably